Alright, hello everyone, this is Ryan, here on the Ghost Layers Live. I'm in Akihabara this evening. A little tired today, so I wasn't sure if I was going to do this or not, but decided to go ahead and do one. Something interesting that came to my attention today, that I hadn't really noticed before, was that, it's not common for the government of Japan to have meetings that are open to the public. Now, they will broadcast the Diet, which is the parliament, on TV on the state news channel. Yeah, I know. State news, huh? They'll do that, but like committee hearings, report meetings, fact-finding things, anything that deals with like the actual operation of government, they do all that behind closed doors, not open to the public. In fact, it's quite rare for them to open up the doors for committee hearings to the general public to come and watch. Not something they typically do, and I found it a bit surprising, considering that. Give me a sec. Oh, Christ. Alright, we'll just put this down for a minute. Considering that everything that's going on right now in Japan, and they're still keeping their meetings extremely closed doors. Local governments, now, they're more known to have their meetings more public and things. But here in Tokyo, the central government, that's not common at all for them to keep things open here. And well, my point is here, is why I find that surprising, is considering everything that's going on right now. I mean, we are on the island, we need more transparency. Kind of required at this point for us to have more transparency, because things are so up in the air. Especially, when it comes to radiation and nuclear power and energy. Those things are, we gotta have more transparency for that. Especially when we're talking about government meetings and things. The last thing I want is to have a government that is not keeping its meetings open. So doesn't really do much for democracy, in my opinion. Yeah. Well, I'll give you a good example of exactly why. Why they have this policy in the first place. A while back, Occupy Tokyo wanted to attend a rare public meeting they were doing in the evening to discuss the possible safety and feasibility of opening up one of the nuclear power plants in Japan full on again. Now, they tried to attend, and they brought a few small banners and things to kind of show support while they're listening to the hearing. So all these people show up, and what happens is suddenly everybody, all the government officials and the professors who were going to give their safety report, got cold feet and suddenly wanted the meeting to be private, off limits to the public. The reason for that was because the people at Occupy Tokyo wanted full transparency during the meeting. They also wanted a Q&A. That's normal in my mind for democracy. When you have an open hearing like that, it's such an important, hot issue after the report's given and the officials make their statements, of course, you would appreciate a few minutes of a Q&A, especially on such a hot issue that's so important. And especially when you have people like coming from Occupy Tokyo who are heavily vested in the issue. But no, as soon as that went down, they wanted to make the meeting private, and the folks at Occupy Tokyo, God bless their heart, tried to force the meeting to be public and open. Even had a bit of a scuffle with one of the officials, trying to prevent him from leaving the room to force him to convene the meeting and make it a public hearing. The man basically had to fight his way out, physically fight his way out of the room, because the OT people were not going to let him leave. So you can see right there that they're really not comfortable having totally public open meetings at all, you know. Bad. It's really disappointing in general, I must say. You know, that's just a clear example of why they don't have these public meetings, because when people show up, they demand answers, and they demand results, and they want things to be spoken and said and dealt with. And J-gov would rather sit there and pussyfoot around and play politics. And the average person in Japan really has a distaste for that type of behavior. So that's probably why most things are done behind closed doors, so they can avoid the public, the people that actually elected them, that expect proper representation. It's too much for them to have open public meetings. Too much for J-gov to be transparent and not BS people and be a bit more honest about how they're running the show. But no, you know, they'd rather have these little private therapy sessions, you know, and play politics and bitch and moan at each other and blame each other and see who can get the advantage, you know, politically. And it's not what we need anymore here in Japan. We need, for a rare change, we need leadership. We need people who are intelligent enough to realize what a lot of people here in Japan really want as far as energy policy, what direction, you know, the people actually want us to go in. So yeah, I'm pushing for more transparency. I want these damn committee meetings and these hearings they have all the time to be open and public, instead of everything being behind closed doors here in Japan. And the closest thing we get to transparency is media, the Diet Parliament, shown live on TV. That's, the politicians know they're on TV and they're live at that point, so they're not going to really deal with what's going on. They're going to have these, I've seen it before. And what they usually do is have these prearranged like debates and discussions where you can tell it's so plastic and fake and they rehearse this and it's not genuine debate on the Diet floor, that it's, you know, a bit sickening. It's not even, it's total BS when they're on the Diet floor. They don't really deal with anything. And matter of fact, did you know that any ruling party in Japan can choose to close the Diet at any time they want and make it off limits to the public? They're not required to make anything public knowledge. All they have to do is report on what they did. We can't actually see it, and we don't actually have a chance to directly participate. Now, America, for all it is and isn't with a government, I could go on rants about them too, but I won't right now. At least all of our hearings, meetings, are open to the public. And sometimes you will see politicians be a bit more real on the House and Senate floor. But here in Japan, no, it's too much for them. They're too bothered. Too busy doing whatever government job they think they're doing and whatever service they think they're providing for us. They can't be bothered to give us these type of things. So, we'll make this a bit short. I'll go ahead and finish up. But that's my point I wanted to make here tonight. Is that I think we should push for more transparency from the J-gov. Keep pressuring them. Don't let them sit there and BS us. So until next time, guys, it's me, Ryan, here in Akihabara today. Checking out.